Um, we're gonna head over to X, the Everything app now. Let's see here. What do we got? Hassan is in Cuba, baby. He's streaming from Cuba. He found a way. He got some bubble gum and duct tape and somehow managed to uh, patch together an internet connection over there. So, you know, good for him. Let's see. On our way to Cuba, delivering humanitarian aid, food, medicine, and solar panels. Cuba has always been there for others. Now it's our time to be there for Cuba. That's true. A lot of people don't know how much Cuba has aided the world, just generally. Cuba's doctors, in particular, are well known as being some of the best doctors in the world, and they go on humanitarian missions all the time to like countries that like don't have the infrastructure for doctors, and they go out and just like offer their services and shit. Um, so that's I don't know. That's really like Cuba deserves the best from us, and America is just being an imperial bully right now. So, but with America being overextended in Iran, and I think that conflict's going to last into the foreseeable future. Um, Iran, Ukraine, like potentially Taiwan, like in the future, eventually it'll just become harder and harder for America to impose its will on places like Cuba and middle and lower powers, so they can finally start to, I think, see some relief and grow. Uh, but we'll see how it goes. Boy, stacks of solar panels and 30 tons of humanitarian aid heading to Cuba. 30 tons? That's like 60,000 pounds. That's crazy. But good for them. Yeah, get them as many solar panels as you can. Um, as far as I know, there's nothing stopping like China and stuff from shipping solar panels to them. So maybe they'll just completely electrify their grid and they'll no longer be dependent on oil at all. And then America can't do shit about that. So, I say keep going. Let's see. Elhan Omar, I hope everyone had a meaningful and enjoy. This is from March 20th. Oh wait, that was yesterday. Sorry, I thought it would have said yesterday. If whenever I see a month and a day, I assume it's from a long time ago or something. I hope everyone had a meaningful and enjoyable Ramadan. May Allah reward you all, and may this e e Eid. I don't really know how to say that. I'm not very familiar with Muslim holidays and stuff, so forgive me. But bring you a renewed hope and peace. Eid Mubarak. Saeed Wanagasan Kafima Kuk. Yeah. Sorry, I have a very hard time with some of those uh Middle Eastern words and stuff. I don't know Arabic or anything. Maybe someday I'll try to learn, but that's probably not going to be for a while. I'm way too busy right now. I assume am I I never know with YouTube if I'm allowed to listen to that stuff. I'm just gonna assume no. Elon Musk offers to pay TSA salaries during shutdown chaos. I don't think so. Yeah, right. Well, okay. How much you want to bet? Like, if should I go on Polymarket and place a bet? There's no way that he's going to actually do this. Or if he does, it'll be entirely symbolic, like one payment, one time. Um, Eid Mubarak, Wising. Come on, AOC. I assume you mean wishing, but you gotta get your. Don't you have a bunch of interns? Can't they read over your tweets before they post it? Wising, a joyous Eid al-Fitr to all those observing in our New York 14th community and beyond. May your fasts and efforts be accepted. Banana. Well, like I said, Rep AOC, get your interns on this shit. Pay them more or something. um, let's see about this one. Ugh, I don't know if I can listen to that either, but this is so Hezbollah that was supposed to be finished after 15 months of Israeli surgical attacks with support from literally the entire West is still monitoring the very borders with thermal cams and sending coordinates to Operation Room to send them to rocket artillery. Yeah. So I think Hezbollah is like doing pretty good right now in their defensive fight against Israel. Um, I still don't think that Israel's going to be capable like of attaining territory or whatever. We all know what Israel's after here. They're after uh like controlling as much territory as they possibly can or whatever. So that's I think what they're going for, and Hezbollah I think will push them right back like they did last time. So we'll see. I assume this is just a cam. Yeah. This is just a cam monitoring, I assume, Israeli assets that are across the Lebanese border. And Mubarak, from my family to yours, Dr. Abdul Al Said. I think he's in third place right now, but he would be my choice. Or that's not over yet, is it? Abdul Al Sayed primary. In Michigan for Senate, August 4th. Yeah, that's okay. So that's like midterm time that he'll be doing it. He's still, my top candidate probably out of that race, but we'll see if he can, break through. Okay, let's see what this is.
Nate in Cape Cod. I just turned 41 last week, and for my birthday, I'd sure love to hear how the Dow is doing. Matt. He.
Let's hear
He'll get it.
Tell me how the
I'll
Dow's
read another
doing.
one.
The Dow.
There we go.
There it is. Oh, I don't think I can listen to that. Let's see here. Ah,
Dow is over. It's over $50,000. I don't know why you're.
okay. Sorry, that's probably annoying. I can't I don't think I'm allowed to listen to stuff on YouTube, unfortunately. Let's see what else we got. PBS NewsHour interviewing Zohran. Let's see what they got.
So, Mr. Mayor, we are speaking on the last day of Ramadan. And as the first Muslim mayor of New York City, you, I understand, have been fasting this entire time as you are governing in this very demanding environment. Just give me a sense of what your days have been like.
Well, in many ways, the days look as they did before. There's obviously an absence of food and water over the course of them. This may be the first time they're seeing a Muslim in public office during the month of Ramadan and all that comes with it.
Ramadan.
For me, I am seeing so many Muslims who've been here far longer than I have, who've been doing this work, and they've been doing it no matter what the demand is.
You also chose to break your fast one day out on Rikers Island. Tell me about that. Why?
That's
It was
cool.
one of the most meaningful evenings I've had as the mayor. And to be on Rikers Island praying alongside incarcerated New Yorkers as well as New Yorkers who work on Rikers Island, it was really an occasion to recognize the humanity in others and also in doing so recognize more of it in ourselves.
Yeah, I like that. I like that, Mom Donnie. He's got something good going on up there in the Northeast. What else we got? What else we got? Oh, a Palestinian children's book. Aw, that's cute. There's a magic part of the moon called Al-Qassam. Palestinians will use its magic moon dust. Don't use those two words next to each other though. The Israelis, I'm sure, will say that this book is anti-Semitic.
Palestine on the Moon. This is my first children's book, the story of how Palestine went to the moon and changed the world. It starts out with this young girl named Zeta. She is the first person ever born on the moon. She's Palestinian. One of the principal things in this book was something her great Sido, her great-grandfather, told her. The only life worth living is a life
All these animations
in
are really
service of
cool.
others. Palestine was so amazing.
I'm hoping it's not AI, but you never know nowadays. But I don't know, seems like a cool book. Party for Socialism and Liberation. Is that the PSL? Okay. Trump's field blockade is starving the Cuban people, but farmers continue to resist. Today, the Let Cuba Live Youth Brigade joined Cuban university students and farmers to learn more about food production process under a worsened siege by U.S. policy. Trump claims his actions are in our names, but we must be clear in our opposition to his policies that starve, strangle, and deny the necessities of life to the Cuban people. I agree. That's cool, though, that they're learning some stuff, sending people to the countryside. Mao would be very proud. Um, ah, that's sad. Yeah, the conditions in the ICE detention facilities are horrible. And they're gonna get worse, by the way. The it's gonna like we're gonna start blending the territory between quote unquote detention centers and concentration camps. Like it's going to keep getting blurrier and blurrier, but I'm sure that we will just continue calling them detention centers or whatever. Um, but the conditions will continue to get worse. Eventually, people will start being starved. Eventually, they'll be forced into doing manual labor, for like unpaid manual labor, aka slavery. Eventually, they will, um, and eventually, assuming the fascist forces keep growing more and more and becoming more powerful, and assuming the Democrats are unable to stop it, which I assume that they won't be because they're weak and ineffective, eventually it will lead to the mass slaughter of brown people or whatever. But you know, I hope that it doesn't get that far. I always have hope. The hope that I have is not with the Democrats, though. It is with the realms of power outside the Democrats. Things like the DSA, various organizations that are local and growing, all that sort of stuff, putting pressure on the Democrats and eventually potentially taking over the Democratic Party. All of these are things that might be able to stop that inevitable future. But that is the road that we are heading down. Don't ever forget that that is the road we're heading down. Um, okay, let's hear about why are Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, Megyn Kelly, and Candace Owens all fighting with each other? I see Crystal Ball and Mehdi Hassan.
Right now, there are these MAGA podcast wars going on. And I got to say, I'm enjoying them as an observer, as an outsider.
We deserve this.
I mean, I've never seen it. Right?
We deserve this.
It's always Democrats in disarray,
Yeah.
the left with the circular firing squad, the right's always message discipline, everyone sticks together, they
Yep.
fall in line.
Yep.
Not this time. Explain to our viewers who have been spared.
Oh my God.
Just give us a summary to normies watching. What are the right-wing
I'm not
MAGA
a normie.
podcasts? What is going on right now?
Well, I mean,
It's big.
It is big, and so it would take a long time for me to give you all of the subplots. But I mean, the major fissure is around Israel. And I mean, the real question for many of these people is like, do we hate the Jews or the Muslims more, right? Like that's what many of them
sadly well put.
are really fighting over. I don't want to lump everybody in that
True, but
bucket,
many
but
of
that's the sort of flavor of a lot of it. And so the latest flare up in this, you've got, Tucker and Candace and Megyn Kelly is now kind of joined.
I think that like right now they still hate the Muslims more. However, I do think that the future is gonna look pretty bad for Jews. Unfortunately, I equate this a lot to, like I say, Israel is an anti-Semitism export machine. Like that's their primary export is anti-Semitism. As the conditions in America get worse and worse, and people become angrier and angrier, I think that they will fall into the oldest hatred or whatever, the anti-Semitism trap of it's all the Jews' fault or whatever. However, in America, like I don't really know, like I don't think that we'll necessarily do like Holocaust stuff to Jews. I think it's much more likely that we'll do that to like migrants and stuff or whatever, like people that we're already putting in detention centers. But I don't necessarily know if we'll do like detention centers and stuff for Jews. I think that it'll probably be more societal, if I had to guess. Like people will just be more openly anti-Semitic in society and culturally, and maybe they might face discrimination like eh, they may face discrimination in the same way that like black people do or whatever to some extent in terms of like I don't know buying houses or whatever, right? Uh, but I don't necessarily think that they're gonna ever be thrown into detention centers or like concentration camps like we do to migrants or whatever, if I had to guess.
that side because she can see this is the way the young base is going.
Yeah.
And then you've got Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro. Actually, Piers Morgan has
But
now
it could
jumped
happen.
in and going after Ben Shapiro, and they're fighting. The latest flare up has been Mark Levin has apparently been going after Megyn Kelly pretty relentlessly for a long time
Yeah,
because
he's got after me too. He's an awful person.
super Zionist, awful person, and
Was a never Trumper, by the way.
Which
Always
is
should remind people when these Trump
completely,
acolytes, they used to hate
completely.
Trump.
And that's true of a lot of the people who are his biggest fans. I mean, Ben Shapiro was not a
Yep,
Trump guy,
agreed.
right? This is a sign that everybody knows the Trump era is coming to an end one way or another. He's incredibly unpopular. They're going to get destroyed in the
That's true.
midterms if they're free. And
So our only hope is that they're unable to find a successor that they all coalesce around. But I don't see the forces of white supremacy are so strong in this country. Like that is why Trump got elected the first time. Everybody just decided that he was the guy or whatever. Um, and it'll happen again. Like they will all fall in line behind someone new. Um, once they all kind of agree who it's going to be, like groupthink their way to who it's going to be, they will all fall in line and it will be worse. It will be worse than Trump, I'm sorry to say. uh, there's nothing at this point. I don't see the Democrats stopping it. I don't see uh, the enough organized labor power to stop it at this point. I really do see that as like an inevitability. It doesn't have to be. We can change things, okay, people? Go out there and organize. Do your own thing. Like uh, organize your workplace, unionize, whatever. Find bases of power outside of electoralism, all that good stuff. There are ways to stop it, but we have to go, go, go. Like time is ticking.
fair remotely at all, they can see the writing on the wall. And they can also see that, especially with an online young right, the direction they're going in
Very dark
yeah,
direction
it
in
is
some
a very
ways.
dark direction in many ways. They are, they're very groiper pilled. So they're sort of reading the room of
Groiper pilled.
how this thing is coming apart. And in the same way that after Bernie lost in 2020, there was a lot of like left liberal, left on left fighting and squabbling and drama, etc.
Well, liberals aren't left. Liberals are center right, but sure.
They're kind of in that moment now where Trump has betrayed, some of his promises. I would say it was all very foreseeable, but there is an element that feels very betrayed. There is a sense of who's going to take the reins next. What is that direction going to look like? And so all of these personal grievances also that were underneath the surface, those are coming up too, which is why I say like partly it's about Israel and like Jews versus Muslims. Partly it's just these like incredible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was interesting. Maybe I'll watch that full thing at some point. Is this the Afroman shit?
Afroman will bring it to ya. Afroman is gonna do ya.
Okay. I don't know if I can watch that either. I don't want to go through what those poor cops did. What Afroman did to those poor cops. Like, I don't want to get in a legal fight with Afroman. I am out of this, dude, okay? You don't have to come after me. I will not play your video on my stream, okay? He's got me petrified. Oh, man. But anyway, Kneecap, we're in Cuba as part of the Nuestra America convoy and the siege of Cuba. Let's see what they have to say. 10 seconds.
We, as Irish people, were Britain's first colony, and we have grown up in our old days with an understanding of colonialism and oppression.
Okay, this is very short, but I liked it. Those 10 seconds, they were a good 10 seconds. They chose the right 10 seconds to post, I guess. What's that mean? His culture is not your costume? Are they talking to me? Are they saying I'm trying to yoink Hassan's culture? I don't know. Oh. No, they're talking about this. CNN's Jake Tapper on why he's anchoring the lead from his office. Oh, okay, I get it. It took me a second. Sometimes I'm not good at X or whatever or Twitter. I don't understand how like what order to read things. Like this is what they're responding to. So I should have read this first. Okay, CNN's Jake Tapper on why he's anchoring the lead from his office. So Jake Tapper, I guess, is doing some home style streaming or whatever, uh, just like Hassan is. So they're saying his culture is not your costume, which calling Twitch or like streamer stuff culture is a little bit being a little loosey goosey. I don't consider anything that I do here as cultured. In fact, I think everything I do here is very uncultured. I am an uncultured swine, okay? Streaming is for the uncultured like me. I do think that I am a cultured person, but when I go into streamer mode, that is out the window, baby. Um, by the way, I was saying like, wow, look at this setup, man. Maybe one day, maybe one day if I can justify the cost, I'll get a better setup. But yeah, this is crazy. If I did though, I would probably have to move it to a different room. I would have to say if I did my gaming room like where I currently stream would have to be just for gaming. I'd have to do this in another room probably. Um, because that's like too big to put in our gaming room if I had to guess. And also our gaming room doesn't at some point I want to get an electrician in here to get some more power supply up here because uh it has some problems. I'm currently my wife's computer, like her gaming setup, her gaming rig is all where we have an extension cord coming from another room to be on a different circuit breaker or whatever. So I need to get that fixed as well, but I ain't got the money. Oh, Bernie finally says it. Okay, let's see. What's today's date? 3/21/2026. So he's about, what, 3 years, 2.5, 3 years too late? Well, thank you, Bernie, for finally getting on board. But let's hear him say it.
Is there hope of success? I would like to think so. I wouldn't bet the farm on it. You got a lot of people here in Congress who are under the thumb of AIPAC and other special interests. The bottom line is that to give another 20,000 bombs to a country which committed genocide in Gaza happens to be, among many other things, forget the moral issue, happens to be in violation of American law. You don't sell arms, according to American law, to countries.
Look. Better late than never. This was one of the most disappointing things that he has ever done to me. Like to me personally, I guess. No, for like his inability to call it a genocide, I don't know if it stems, I don't know exactly what it stems from. I think that if it was any other country doing what they were doing to another group of people, I think he would have been willing to call it a genocide. So I do think it has to do with it being Israel in particular. Uh, but he did materially try to get bills passed that would stop this stuff. So that's what I will say about that. His rhetoric was bad, and he should have been better on it. And I think that at the very least at this point, whether he believes it's a genocide or not, he kind of realizes that it's probably doing more political damage than good to keep trying to weasel his way out of using the word. So he's probably like, okay, I guess I got to do it. So. This one says, I'm going to post this video every day so we never forget what the 34th time piece of, or 34th, I assume, president or convicted felon who incites political violence, adjudicated rapist, and pedophile Trump did on J6. Yeah, well, that is what insurrection looks like. But, we live in America where there's no consequences for anyone who has a remote bit of power. So, what are you going to do? That's why I keep saying also you can't keep throwing these people in prison because the next president is just going to let them all loose. So if we go after the fascist thugs and stuff, I'm sorry, prison is not an option. You got to either, denaturalize and deport them or sentence them to death. Those are the only two options that are left now because Donald Trump has shown that because we allow our prisoners to be like un or the prison sentence to be undone at the drop of a pen by the next president. Uh, we cannot have a justice system that works like that. So those are the only two options left. Now we could get rid of that option as well. I mean, that would be my preferred outcome is make it illegal to or make there no possibility of pardoning prisoners from the by the president because that's too much power for one person to have. But, I don't think we're going to do that. So, like I said, either death sentence or denaturalize and deport. Um, Another Bernie ad. Ugh, I don't want to watch that. He's too gross. I kind of avoid Asmongold content on my stream because he's a little rat, a little dirtbag rat. I don't like him. Oh, what else we got? Let's hear it. Let's hear
Alters is a son of a bitch.
it. Yeah, I watched a video on that the other day, but I think my stream setup, the OBS shit was bad, so it's probably unwatchable to a lot of people, but that's unfortunate, but whatever. That was the flight. Oh, Owen Jones went too? Nice. Like that. Going to Cuba. Lots of people in Cuba. Antifa Ultras. What is this? Should I follow them? I assume that they're okay to follow. Um, it's crazy, dude. The amount of like fucking right-wing freak shit that Twitter tries to throw in front of my face all the time. I'm trying to look for new people to follow for like fun leftist memes and shit. And like they're like, "Oh, do you want the Babylon Bee or do you want libs of TikTok like for your memes or whatever?" And I'm like, "No. Those people suck. Why would I want them? Don't you understand from like my feed and the people I follow that I don't want to follow fucking libs of TikTok. Like I follow some people like I follow like some people I don't agree with, like reporters that I don't really like that much or whatever, or like CNN or like various news organizations that I don't even really like, but because they do some straight news that I find good for like talking about or reading. But and I'm like, is it because I have like some people that I don't really like that much, like that the algorithm throws these like right-wing freaks in my face? But I'm like, I don't really have that many, and I just think that they're just trying to get more people to follow the right-wing freaks, dude. They're trying to psyop everybody. Okay, let's try to find one more fun one, then I gotta get out of here. I gotta go canvas for Corey Bush, so let's see what we got. We're going to see a lot more of this, by the way. Uh, Police coming to see if you've posted criticisms of Israel. Don't worry, that'll be everywhere soon enough. As Israel becomes less and less popular, they will start becoming more and more brutal. I did it again. More coffee on my coffee-colored shorts. I'm so lucky that I choose to wear coffee-colored shorts, I suppose. But okay, what else we got? What else we got? Yeah. Okay. Well, some TSA lines. I guess if you got to travel somewhere, I'd say probably get there 3 hours early or so if you want to be sure that you're making it. Um, Luckily, I'm not traveling for a while. I don't know. That could have been a fun video, but it's too long. Sorry. What else we got? Ooh, 4,000 kilometers? Well, it's a pretty long shot. Pretty precise. Okay, find something fun. What else we got? Oh, okay, this could be a fun one. Let's watch Woody Harrelson complain about Trump by Antifa Ultras.
We have a guy
Associate Press
running this country who has unearthed a lot of bigotry and a lot of racism, and it seems to be more virulent than ever. So,
he didn't unearth it. Like, it was always there. Like, he just was a vessel for it. But yes, it's a back and forth. They go back and forth. They become more racist, and then he then pushes the boundary more, and then they become more racist, and then he pushes the boundary more. Like, it's a back and forth. But yeah, sorry, this is a short thing, so I probably shouldn't have paused it. But let's.
And it seems to be more virulent than ever. So, yeah, it's strange how it seems like we're going backward. And yeah, I wish that there were a way to. I wish there were a way to get rid of that son of a and get in a great president, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen, and I don't know how much.
Hey, Woody, I got away. I can't say it on stream. I can't say it on stream, okay, Woody Harrelson. But if you ever want to, like, give me a call, I know a way. I don't like if you want to take me up on it, you can. But yeah, I know a way, okay?
Much he's going to continue to foment hatred. We have a guy.
Okay, good enough.